Today in history. It's time for us to take a look back on what happened on this day in the past.
Absolutely. We have just one event to share with our listeners today, although it is a very interesting one. We'll get to that in just a moment. First, here is the quiz question. What word is not related to basketball? Number 1, dribbling. Number 2, pitching. Number 3, passing. The question again. Which word is not related to basketball? Number 1, dribbling. Number 2, pitching. Or number 3, passing. If you know the answer, you can put it on our Bandi board or text in on your cell phone, #1045 for either 50 or 101, depending on the length of your message. And the prize this time is a designer's note.
That's right. Okay, so we're going to be talking about one item, and let's find out what that is.
Today in history. In 1861, James Naismith, the inventor of basketball, was born.
1861년 11월 6일 농구를 처음 고안했던 이 제임스 네이스미스라는 사람이 출생한 날이로군요.
So today we go back in time and review the birth of Dr. James Naismith, whose brainchild is none other than the sport of basketball.
Born on this day in 1861, he was given the task of creating a new indoor sport activity while conducting a physical education class at the International YMCA Training School in Springfield, Massachusetts, United States. Well, it was there where he conceived the world-famous sport.
Well, back then, Naismith struggled with very grumpy students who couldn't go outside because of the cold weather. So he was given orders to create a game that could be played inside.
Well, noticing that a big, soft soccer ball was safest to play with indoors, he came up with this idea of creating a set of 13 rules that comprised the basic framework for the game he named basketball.
And by 1891, the first game of basketball was played. A couple of years later, in 1904, the newly created sport was introduced to the Olympic Games, becoming an official discipline in 1936.
Interesting. Well, since its creation, basketball was a huge success, becoming very popular in every country it was introduced to, including Korea, of course, where it was brought by the YMCA in 1907.
But not only was the creator of basketball Canadian, but its trademark league, the NBA, was also born in Canada.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I used to watch those TV commercials, those kind of public service announcements on TV all the time. They used to use a peach basket, and then he figured out that it was difficult to climb up there and get the ball out every single time, so he cut a hole in the bottom of it, a small hole, and used a broomstick to poke the ball out so he wouldn't have to climb up there every time. Yeah, interesting, right?
Right. Okay, the NBA's first game between the New York Knickerbockers, that's interesting. It's a real name, Knickerbockers.
Still is, yeah.
And the Toronto Huskies took place in Toronto on November 1st in 1946.
1946, huh? Well, this game is now regarded as the first match in NBA history, as the teams were part of the Basketball Association of America, the forerunner to the NBA.
I feel so bad. I mean, can't really believe that I said, is it a real name, Knickerbocker? Still is.
Yeah.
Right. And as tribute to his memory, the trophy of the NBA, or I'm sorry, FIBA FIBA Basketball World Cup has been named, not surprisingly, the James Naismith Trophy. Not to mention that Naismith himself was inducted into several halls of fame.
Pretty interesting, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, before we finish up the answer to the quiz question, it was, which word is not related to basketball? Number 1, dribbling. Number 2, pitching. Or number 3, passing. And the answer is number 2, pitching. All right, that's it for today in history. We'll return tomorrow with more from the past.